Alright, this is a detailed overview of my Whirlwind machine. Translite looks perfect. I don't see any issues or errors. The display in there was replaced by the previous owner with one of those X-Pen LED things, so that display, to the best of my knowledge, is about 6 months old and works flawlessly. Going down here onto the playfield, in the back strip there, I've added an extra strip light. There's about an 18-inch LED going across the back of there that's tied to those lights in the back. So when the flashing comes on and off in there, it's fantastic. You can see I've got the LEDs and the pop caps. This whole thing's fully LED'd with color matching inserts. And everything on here looks absolutely fantastic. And I've got a little trough light in there. And I've got the magnetic apron cover. I've got the side blades. Now I'm going to highlight everything on condition on here, positive and negative. First, I'd like to say that this is the nicest Whirlwind I personally have ever seen. I've only seen 4, but it is very nice. This is 30 or 31 years old, depending on how you want to do the math on it. Looking up here on the side, you can see if you look at it in the light, there's been a little bit of touch up around the corner, but overall it's not noticeable to the eye unless you're looking at it in just the right light. So looking over here at the left head, everything is looking very nice. There's a little lighter piece of light there, but you're going to be looking at it from where you are actually playing. Looking at the left side, everything is looking very nice. There's a couple of small light touch-ups like over here in the W, but once again, this is if we're getting picky, which I always am, but I like to always point out anything positive or negative on these. This machine comes with the little leg protectors you see here. It does not come with the pin gulp though. These legs, I'm guessing are not original and have been replaced, but they are rust-free and very nice looking. Over here on the front, you can see we're once again looking very nice. There's been some touch-up in the yellow here, which I did myself. You can see there's a little bit of blue here. At some point in time, this had a lockdown bar. But I'm guessing it's been a very long time since this thing was en route. Looking on the left-hand side, the graphics once again look very nice. I don't see any real issues, just minor touch-ups. And looking over here on the left side of the head, once again, everything is looking very nice. And moving on up into the topper. The topper is uncracked, it's complete, and it blows very strongly. And once again, looking at the inside of where the translite goes, it's all looking very nice. Somebody did a really good job, not me, touching up the blue here over time. So looking back on the playfield, down here, we've got that extra, like I said, the extra LED strip back there. Looking down on the right-hand side, and I'm just pointing out any possible flaws in here. This machine still has the factory Mylar on it, which is why it's not roasted like a lot of these that you see. So you can see around the corners, like on the edges of the Mylar, it's all still there. It's just over the course of 30 years, a little bit of dirt gets into those. But this is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. The one place where there's any default at all that I can find in the plastics is on that ramp, the lift flap thingy there that you see. Just at the bottom of that little gray piece, it just looks like there's a bolt tightened too hard on the back. There's the edge of the Mylar there, which overall is still very nice. Going down, everything's looking good. Let's see, the only issues I've had at any electronics was fixing the 2 in that Skyway tolls. for whatever reason the light bulb wasn't staying in there. This has been a phenomenally reliable machine. On the discs, the spinning discs here, you can see around the edges, there's almost no wear. These traditionally look pretty bad. Like if you get on Pinside and you look at the wear on a lot of these, like, I mean, you can see a little bit there, but these will be blown out all the way past the black line just from being hit over and over. I don't have anything to compare it against, but the spinning discs seem pretty grippy to me. I'm assuming they've been replaced at some point in time. When I first got this machine, I was very disappointed in it until I realized that you could open up the outlanes a little bit. This is the middle setting, and on this has been the most fun. My first couple of games on this, the outlanes were closed all the way up, and my games took like 45 minutes. It was just a little bit much. Moving on down, everything's still looking good. And looking in the shooter lane. Shooter lane looks very nice for a 31-year-old machine. Moving on up, looking at the very bottom, everything is looking nice. I did have to tighten up the center post there. Let's see. If you look at these inserts here in the very center, everything looks good. There's a little bit of discoloration in like the very left of the edge of that W there. But once again, just pointing it out. Moving on up, you can see where the edge of the Mylar here is by the drop targets, which have always worked. And there's a tiny little bit of lifting around the million insert and the million plus insert. But if you really wanted to just have it absolutely flawless, you could take the Mylar off and redecal the million plus thing. But I personally don't think that that's necessary or worth it. Otherwise, I would have done it. Moving over here, everything's looking very good on this side. The only reason that that's not a full ring LED there is because it wouldn't fit. Pops and everything are all real strong. The cellar works just fine. Occasionally I've had to have it pop out or try to pop out 2 times before it'll go out. But it works on the first time most of the time. You can see I've got the Cliffies there. And the ramp diverter works just like it's supposed to every time. And you've got your multi-ball lock over here with space for 3 balls instead of 2. I never really understood that. You can see somebody back in the day put a tiny little piece of Mylar over where the drop is on the left side. So there's very little wear there. So at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and open up the, oops, you see that there? Well, that's going to have to do for now. We're going to open up the back box and take a look at the boards. If I can open it. So the only things on here that are not LED'd are the twinkle bulbs. I think you can get twinkle LED bulbs and they're outrageously expensive, and who cares? The back box LEDs are mostly color matched. I replaced most of the red ones with white in there just because I didn't like the way they looked. And looking in here, you can see, come on, focus on that. Williams, the original Williams ROMs here, and Whirlwind ROM, Williams. So, to the best of my knowledge and ability, these are all original Williams boards. Although This may or may not be an original Williams board on this right here, but it does have the little Williams. Oh, here we go. Williams. There's a Williams warranty sticker on that one right there. This display right here is a, I want to say an X-Pin LED, but in any case, it's been replaced and it's flawless and bright and orange and beautiful. And let's take a look under the hood. And put this very nice translate back in. Now, I'm not sure if this is an original piece of glass or not, but it is very clear and nice. Let's see, it's got okay, tempered glass. Put this down. Okay. So, looking back in again over the machine. On the left-hand side, I do have a little spot in the decals, but once again, not part of the original machine from putting the raising and lowering it not as smoothly as I should, I guess. This on the front is a magnetic decal, but looking underneath, everything looks very nice. I mean, there's a little flaw in the yellow sticker there, but once again, there's a big apron covering it up. And let me lift it up.